Good evening and welcome everyone to ASR's coverage of the official Asrnz 2001 Assetto Corsa Competition GT3 season. Yes, it's round 3. It's an Enduro tonight, guys. We're at Paul Ricard, and as usual, J-Man right by my side. How you doing, brother?
Well, good, and I wish it was 2001, mate, because I'd be significantly younger. I'm going to call it 21, but anyway, we won't dwell on that.
Awesome.
Fucking excuse my French, but it was just a little bit of a rush there, Davo. Bit
Yeah,
frantic,
a little
calling
bit
calling
frantic.
in calling in the tech department at the final seconds to this one as we see these boys about to actually go
Uh,
live for the quali. But hey, look, the first part of it's not that exciting generally as these guys are cycling up, so. I guess no time like the present, Davo, to kick it off.
yes.
Like you
We
mentioned,
are going to kick it off. The boys are still in
it's round
driver brief.
three.
And look, if you guys could have only have seen the last 5 minutes before we went to air
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
it was
Excuse
bloody
my French,
hectic.
guys.
But anyway,
Apologies.
just going to have a quick look at the points here, J-Man. We've got them up in front of
What
us
have we
there.
got? What do we got?
Um,
Okay.
what do we take from that? This is after Imola, round 2, and we did see Satherley um, and also Jackson really take hold of that race there, but got a
Yeah.
couple of penalties, so that's popped them back a little bit there.
Well, it has, mate, and like as you said, so Stoneley having a really good round as well. Um, Southerly's still there, but yeah, Crossland's still leading this thing by a few points. There's only 7 points separating the top three at the moment. So there's a lot to play for. But as we look down through those points at the moment, Davo, uh, guys like Mark Mudgeway currently sitting in P5, not here tonight. Um, I'm not sure if I saw Jeff Burse in the server. He's not here tonight, currently sitting P9. So be some big movers and shakers in this first enduro of the 2021 calendar, Davo. So
For the season, yes,
yeah,
definitely.
2 hour race,
So,
mate.
mate,
Statistically, what can you tell us about what the boys do and don't have to do tonight?
well,
Obviously it's a 2 hour race. What do they
2 hour
have to
race.
tick off?
We got 120 minutes rather than a 70-minute standard format race, and only 2 compulsory pit stops.
Right?
Although we have heard rumours that some of the boys might even prefer a 3 pit stop race, but yeah, it's also a night race.
Yep.
And we are currently in qualifying, and it is raining. But yes, like I think you already covered off, it's a double points race. So, um, obviously, anybody that's not here tonight, because we've had a few guys not turn up tonight, um, they will suffer because these boys are really going to capitalise with a double point event tonight. But yeah, 2 hour race, J Man. It's going to be a bit
Yeah.
of a stretch, I think.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, these guys have got to tick off the two mandatories. We know that obviously the Assetto Competizione pit stop regulation format for this race is that basically out of the 120 minutes, there'll be 100 minutes the pit lane is open, working from the centre back
Yeah.
either side. So, as you said, yeah, so it can be some big changes. I just see the boys rolling out for the session as we pick up on the graphics at the moment. That this is a, we had a 3 a.m. practice session. The boys are well and truly adjusted to the night conditions.
They have.
A
They
10 p.m.
have.
qualifying, and those that did get on during the week would have worked out that. It was a fair bit of precipitation forecast for this weekend's race.
Well, look, we do drop in, don't we, throughout
We
the
do
week,
frequently.
J-Man, and watch a little bit of practice throughout the week, and obviously because the boys are, on track throughout the weekend. But we have seen a bit of precipitation,
Quite a
and
mouthful, isn't it?
like we did leading up to Imola. So anybody that's been in early and done a bit of practice has at least got their head around that, and that just adds to this whole, like this nighttime race, mate.
Yeah.
It's really gonna put a twist in the whole outcome. I think wet track night race?
I mean, we're going to talk about a multitude of things throughout the night because obviously there's 2 hours for
Of course, of
for
course.
you and I to
Just
get
try and shut
reequipped
us
with
up.
everything. Yeah. But probably in summary to probably what we're going to look at is things like I mean, we're currently looking at one of the Astons on track, and we know that internally we've delved into some information as we do, put in our broadcaster's cap and go digging for some info, and that thing will probably complete this race in somewhere around 205 litres. We know that the Ferrari's pretty
We
similar.
Yes, we do have
So,
a little bit of inside information, not a lot though. Yes.
yeah, I mean, so like in a perfect scenario, you would expect that this car be somewhere between sort of 68 to 78, maybe 80 litres on starting, and then work somewhere around the 68, 70 litres
Yeah, you think so,
for the
wouldn't
two
you?
stoppers home.
Yep.
In a perfect scenario, as far as the weather's concerned,
Yep.
what does throw up a real curveball is the fact that the weather plays a
Well,
hand
the
in this.
rain for starters. Yeah.
Yeah, rain for
Yeah.
starters, and
Yeah.
then obviously traffic and different stuff. So it'll be interesting to see, exactly how this thing shapes out for some of these guys. And we've already heard from a couple of drivers. We're not going to say who, but we're at this point in time we'll probably deluge a little bit more information as the night goes on. But there's some guys in here that are really at this point quite willing to just bank this one. There is 4 Enduros in the Asrnz calendar this year, double points on offer.
Yep. Yep.
You've got guys, like stand-up competitors like Mark
Yep.
Mudgeway and Jeff Burst that have clearly decided to sit this one out for whatever reason. I'm correct that Jeff Burst isn't here because
I haven't seen
I need
Jeff
to
Scar on the
confirm
track.
that.
No.
I need to just confirm that. But those guys are pretty standout competitors that aren't for whatever reason, and
Yep. Personal reasons or whatever. Like
so
some of these
Sam was
guys
the
have got
second
sort of pretty hefty workloads,
Yep.
as we do ourselves. So just in real life, so you can understand when it's not always convenient to come and race. But
And actually,
like we were saying
too,
earlier, the guys that are here
Yep.
will capitalise from that situation. So
Yeah, 100%. And shout out actually while I remember to Mudgie's parents that do watch this thing generally on a Friday morning. I hope you guys enjoy this stream with your breakfast on a Friday morning. We'll endeavour to do our best to keep you informed with what's happening.
yeah, and hopefully we'll keep the language down a little bit too.
Yeah. We'll try our best, but at the end of the day, you did bear a child by the name of Mark Mudgeway, and I'm pretty sure you understand where we're coming from. So this track tonight, Davo, Paul Ricard, near Castellet. I'm not sure. France. I should have just said France.
French.
It is. Yeah, it is a French track. It is 5.84 kilometres in its current format, 3.6 miles in the old money. 15 turns, a very, very much well-suited track to the longer racing
15
format.
turns, and just from that current camera angle we were just looking at from back there, we could see about 5 of them straight away. It's a strange track to look at on camera. It looks incredibly boring. Looks like it's got way more turns than it actually has, with all those stripes painted everywhere. But yes, it does have quite a few at 15 turns. But it's a long track, J-Man. So it's a big lap.
Yeah, hey, look, it's not that far short of a Bathurst lap, really.
Yeah, that's right. So we just see Jackson.
Yeah, so Jackson to the top. Jackson to the top. Now, this is a guy that off air during the week we had the pleasure of just having a quick word to, as we do. I mean, obviously the show goes on outside of these streams, and Davo and myself trying to trying to process some information so that we can bring to you guys. But Jackson and Tom are the 2 members that I guess were invitational drivers to the season. This is not their first season here. They've come back. And we had a little chat to Jackson earlier in the week. Jackson and Tom both come from FSR, so Formula Sim racing, probably more used to probably going a little bit quicker with the open wheel of Formula 1 stuff, but really handy in these tin tops, and especially in this McLaren Especially Jackson himself at the moment. We've sort of picked up in the last 2 rounds that Jackson not afraid to throw the car into the corner into a four-wheel slide and then drive it off straight.
Yeah, it seems like the nature is set there actually, J-Man. It's just the way it turns in, it's very nice and pointy, and he just seems to be able to gather it up fairly quickly. We saw it at Imola, even in the dry, the car does look very pointy in the front. And yeah, it takes some skill actually to drive a car like that. As you well know, you've really got to sort of be really on point with the oversteer and just be able to grab that car by the scruff of the neck and then just four-wheel drift it through the corner, and it's unbelievably quick, particularly in a mid-rear configured car. So
Yep. So yeah, so him and Tom doing a great job. Got
awesome job.
clear goals of what they want to achieve here at Asrnz this season, and hey, look, they're putting their best foot forward to go about do that. As we see currently, actually, just looking at Tom Satherley, who just dispatched Ryan Gulbranson. He's got the sister car or the team car of Jackson went right behind him, who is currently provisionally P1. Tom Satherley currently sharing the front row with his teammate with the famous Crossy car in P3. So Aztec and Crossy sharing the second row at this point, provisionally. Aztec, yeah, good showing here from him. Ashley and Craig Stoneley.
Looks like
Stoneley's given it away.
Stoney's given it away. He's had enough at P6. I just see Crossland. He's just off track there. I don't know whether he's just sizing up for another lap, letting a little bit of traffic through. Or
well, they'd want to hustle because these guys do have to drive the lap. They can't escape and come back. They actually have to.
So here we go. He's back out on the surface, on the actual road surface.
Whereabouts is he on track?
Like
is he in
he
the back
must
sector?
be just coming around the back section here, onto the start-finish straight. So yeah, clearly he was looking to let a few cars past, and just get a bit of clear track.
He's into it. Okay, yeah. So Crossy going for another go. He is straight away kind of mirroring his best time. He was slightly up. I think he's probably looking to improve. I mean, I personally think an 8.7 on a wet track's a pretty sharp time from Jackson, and it'll take some beating.
It will. It will. If anybody's going to take it to these boys up the on the front row, though, it will be Crossy. Crossy knows that.
Well, it'll have to be now because the Go Speed Racing team has actually given it away for this session with 17 seconds to go. They think they have done enough.
As you'd expect, as you see the glowing exhaust from the Mercedes, just as they run down this runway long straight.
Melling too, Davo.
So awesome. These cars run down the straight here.
Steve Melling sharing second row with Steve Crossan at the minute.
Yeah, good to see from Stephen, and we did give him a bit of a rib earlier tonight, didn't we, J-Man? And told him to up his game.
I'd like to see him up his game and catch him on the podium later on. And if he can make that a reality, as he's nearly a 10th up on his lap, which
nice work.
Probably wouldn't see him improve.
And in front of his teammate, who's Stoney, who
Stoney all the way back to P8,
who has pretty well shone the whole series so far. Only 2 official races in, but yeah, even in the shakedown, Stoney well on fire. So we just
Stevo, half a chance here to just flick across the side there. Steve Crossan gets it. Jake McKellar gets him. Steve Melling dropping down to 6.
as well. So we'll just watch Steve come across the line here. I suspect he gets at least one. Yes, it is.
No,
McKellar stays out.
He's been dropped. He's been dropped to 6, Davo. A big flurry at the end sees Jackson went over Tom Satherley, over Jake McKellar, over Steve Crossland, over Ashley Vettiger, Steve Melling, Aztec, Steve Wilton, and Mark Josco, and Craig Stoney making out the 10. Where is the 5-time champ of John McDonald? He is back in 11th. Still with some late charges and improvers, Davo, coming around. Damien Jarkus Jones, who actually just not going to improve because he's run wide on that lap. Gunther Rowe, 1.4 seconds up. What does he make of this? Coming from P20 up to P16. Sorry, Davo, but that was a real flurry at the end.
It was, as usual here at ASR, the qualifying so
Wow.
critical. These guys don't muck around.
So 2 weeks in a row, Jackson Went has actually taken it to his teammate Tom Sally. So that's interesting because I understand that Tom uh, basically is the senior driver at Go Speed Racing at FSR. So those guys having a nice little internal battle there, healthy, friendly battle between mates there. So that's cool to see those boys on top there. Jake McKellar, I guess.
Well, you could say the same thing about this Stoneley Melling situation as well. So yeah, good
Yeah,
stuff
100%.
from McKellar there in third position.
Yeah, probably undersold Jake in this session. Probably didn't talk about him enough, and clearly he had good pace. Out qualifying Steve Crossan on any given night's a great effort.
Absolutely.
I've just got a bit of a technical issue my end. I've got to sort out. I'm not sure what's going on here, Davo.
So yeah, Steve Belling in sixth, Aztec in seventh, Steve Wilton eighth. Nice work from Farmer there. Mark Josco 9, and Craig Stoneley rounding out the 10. Now Stoneley, unusual to see him so low
Oh,
in
Kenny
the
Simpson
order.
pimping JB at the end too, Davo.
Yeah, nice work from Kenny there.
What other names further down the list might have you thought might have been a bit further up? Anything there to Nick Davidson in the Mercedes?
Well, clearly John McDonald, you would have thought would have been up there. Nick Davison has been quick in the Mercedes as well, and also Gunther Rowe. So Damien's done a lot of practice. Would have expected him up a little bit higher, but like all these
Sort, sort
tough.
your drive out
Yeah.
there, Davo. Just
So
sort out your drive, buddy, for the viewers. And as we see this session, Davo, is an 8 o'clock session, and it's an 8 p.m. session, and it is still raining, bud.
it is still raining as
What do we know
they
about that?
go into this full formation lap. As usual, as a prerequisite for the series. So, Paul Ricard, 5Ks long and 15 corners. This, you will be able to go and get a cup of tea for this. Put the jug on.
Or a beer?
Well, I'd be getting beer, but
Hey,
it is
so
where
what
it
we know
starts.
is we've just seen the weather forecast for the next 7 minutes. It's likely to increase about 3/4 way around this formation lap. The rain will increase. That's what we do know. And I guess for the first 5 minutes in the race, we expect the rain to get a little heavier. And that's about as much information as we've got right now. So these guys will all be on a wet tyre, I would expect. Even though the track is greasy, I'd expect them all to be on a wet tyre. So we'll bring as much information as we can to you on this formation lap and in the preceding moments of the race. But man, Davo, first Enduro of 2021, the Go Speed Racing boys up on top. Jake McKellar, Steve Crossan in there. I'm still going to go back to Steve Melling. You know, he's me BFF, mate. He's me old mate from a long time, and I'm so happy for him to be in that middle of that top 10, mate. That's a good showing because we know how consistent he is. If he can start well, we know that he finishes well.
Yeah, for sure, J-Man. Steve-O, always a numbers man. He will definitely have his fuel loads and pressures sorted. So yeah, definitely one to watch, J-Man. So yeah,
Yep.
good stuff to see him where he is. Yeah, wet start. It's going to be an interesting start, I think.
Scrolling down the field, making
Interesting.
sure everybody is on a
Interesting.
wet tyre.
Interesting.
No, no. Gunther Rowe has decided to start this on a dry tyre.
There you go. So there's a gamble right up. So we'll be keeping an eye on Gunther's orange gold Mercedes.
And Dre starting from the pit lane is the word. So it's
In
about
the
all the
Ferrari,
information. Yep.
definitely, yes, we can see that now.
Okay, so out of the 23 cars on track, we can tell you that one car, the 52 car of Dre Rodriguez, is starting from pit lane, and we can tell you that Gunther Rowe in the 46 car is starting on a hard slick tyre
And a
in
hard,
progressively
slick tyre at that.
worsening conditions.
So good luck, Gunther.
Wow. Okay.
It's going to need
Yeah.
more than luck, isn't he, mate?
Yeah, I'm not sure that how well that's going to work out for Gunther, but hey, look, he's certainly braver than 22 other guys out there. I think we may have Gons. I'm presuming that that's Gons watching live. If it is, welcome to the stream, mate. And yeah, we know that Aztec is one of your good buddies, and we wish him all the best, mate. And enjoy the stream. Hopefully, you enjoy it.
Yeah, and definitely fans of Aztec. And of course, we should take this opportunity to mention the series. Series is brought to you by Superior Joint Sealing, SJS, when quality matters, and obviously all our technical support, excuse me, as I trip over my tongue,
Quite
comes from Aztec and Zero Vision, and we would not be on air without him. As we see these boys just round the
we've
final
got a car that's having some sort of
set of corners, this final
which is the
complex.
McLaren that's having a bit of an issue there, mate?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm going to say it is.
We're going to have to just keep focus on what's going on here as the boys just fire around. I think it's the last left-hander here.
Oh, somebody is having a hell of a scene
and here we go up the straightaway. Lights ablaze. It's pissing down range, eh, man? This is round 3. We're at Paul Ricard, 120-minute race.
Green light. Go, go, go.
And we are racing.
We are green. What do we got, David?
Aztec up beside.
Yeah, drivers would have been warned
Steve
this week
Melling.
about overlaps too.
So nice tidy start. Little bit of a contact back there by Nixon.
Oh, it's okay, yep.
So we'll just go to a quick.
Oh, there's a hell of a scene back there. Okay. Okay, so there'll be a big gap in the field from about, maybe 7th or 8th back now because of the contact with Nick Davison, and I'm not sure who else it was. I'm going to say maybe it was John McDonald. Right. I think it was John. I'm not sure who it was, but yeah.
So back up the front with Steve Crossland, actually just picking up on the back of Thomas there.
Yep.
Sadly, just.
Yeah. Who's that putting a move on? Is that Steve Melling? Oh no, hang on. Who's that?
Steve Melling a little bit behind. I think that's Aztec on McKell.
Yeah, Aztec on McKellar.
And Crossy off with a big dip. We're going to go for a look at that.
He just lost it into the right-hander there, Davo. We'll see on the replay that it just went all sorts of shapes there. Big long race, long way for him to
yeah, long race back. And just not. You can see the boys falling down through the straightaway here, and Crossy just a little bit deep in, wasn't he, J-Man, and
Yeah,
puts
possible
it in
tyre not up to
backwards.
temp or something, I'm not sure,
Yeah,
but
not ideal.
certainly given the
Puts
Ghosty
him well
Racing
back.
McLaren cars a good opportunity to make hay. But that said, Aztec making really good on the start.
And putting
So
himself
we've
in
got
third position. We actually should just
McLaren one two
pick up
three
a...
as Aztec runs off very deep into
He
turn one.
does
Tough
go
position
very
eight.
deep, and I think we need to look back there too at Steve Melling, actually, because
Yep.
he's obviously with...
Jake McKellar.
yeah, he's just in behind Jake McKellar, but with Crossy coming off there, just going to position, so nice work from Steve.
Yeah, P5. Craig Stonley, the big improver too. Guy started out in, I think,
He was
10th.
in 10th, yeah.
Yeah,
Started
currently
10th.
up to P7, so made 3 positions as well. I caught him off the start, making a really nice move, I think, on Steve Wilton. So just looking back down the field for John McDonald, who's currently in a battle with Nick Davidson and Brendan Rolfe in P19. So I
Yeah,
believe
so
it was
well done. So
John McDonald car that was involved in that first lap incident.
he's dropped well down. There was a whole bunch of cars that got caught up in that first corner
As you
incident.
watch the speed of the Ferrari just monsters the Porsche down the back straight. Yeah, so no problem there for the Ferrari
So
on the Porsche.
just checking out McKellar there, actually, J-Man.
Yep.
Talking about Ferraris and trying to hold his own behind the McLaren of Aztec. He does have Steve-O right behind him, but look, the rule book goes out the window a little bit with the way these cars, like their gains and their losses in BOP and whatnot, because depends on who's driving it in these sort of conditions, depends on how well it does. So
well, it does.
Very wet conditions.
It might not be everybody's angle or everybody's game.
No,
But
definitely not.
At the end of the day, the Asrnz we do run a teams championship, which currently Fast and Dubious are leading by 3 points over OB Racing, which is Aztec and BK. But that Castrol team is currently sitting in P3 in the teams at 120 points, only 6 points off the marker. And as we stand, looking at Steve Melling in 5th and Craig Stonley in 7th, that's a real solid showing. Ghost Racing.
It is.
Back a few markers on 102 points, but those cars running 1-2 at the moment will be great for their team's account at the moment. So, we'll bring you a graphic of that at some point during the night on the teams. We touched briefly on the Drivers' Championship, but we will bring you a graphic later on in the night on the teams as we see this thing shake out, maybe after a pit stop or so, and just see how these are running.
For sure. And I'm sure we'll have a little bit of time later on as we just see the Aston of... it's actually Craig Stonley on Aston Rediger there.
Run out of horsepower at the end of the straight.
He did run out of room a little bit there.
Yeah.
J-Man, but good showing though. Look, we've seen the aero wars. We've talked to a few of the boys throughout the week, and he comes off.
And I think that's
There's
unfortunate
contact
because Ashley had actually lost prior to the contact. He'd actually lost control prior to that contact, in my opinion.
So we just get a quick look back at this.
And look at that. As quick as you say that car there, right up on the back of Ashley now.
It is Ashley, unfortunately.
Who is that car?
Sideways.
It's Bear Grylls.
Bear Grylls?
Yeah, great replay there too. Cam guys really on point at the moment, so big props to Davo driving the bus these days, because had some fancy work to capture that.
So clearly that's Bear Grylls, and in the Mercedes who has had some health issues with his back, so not on track a lot these days. But
Yeah,
that
awesome to see
Stoneley's
Bear back on
clearly
track.
readdressed the situation with Ashley, and now also has Ryan Gilbranson. I think that might be. Do you think that is? Yes,
Yeah,
in the
it is.
Ferrari,
It's a bloody
just
hard
tucked
call
in
because
behind there. Yeah, so
yeah, because the
good
actual
little battle
McLaren
going.
of Ashley had actually lost control prior to the contact, so that's a real tough one. That one. I mean, as a as a sim racer,
Of course.
I'm not sure how I'd view that if I was in the hot seat.
So we might just jump back into. Let's have a look. Steve Crossland doing.
Yeah, how's he recovering? Pretty bloody well in 8th position, putting a lot of pressure on Kenny Simpson. Good to see Kenny Simpson up at P7. Davo.
Oh, for sure.
Picked up a little bit of data earlier in the week as Kenny just takes the soft option and lets Crossy pass there. Kenny clearly needs to up your game there, mate. But no, Kenny, we heard word of a difference of about 3 degrees on the wing versus a teammate or something. Did we hear during the week? Kenny opting to almost take the wing off the car. Was that the call? I lost you, Davo. No,
Sorry. I was just choking on my beer. Yes. Yeah, that's right. Just some observations through the week with Kenny outrunning his teammate
up the back straight.
Down the back straight easily and spruiking that he would not be able to catch him, which he didn't. And
No.
yes, there was at least 3 notches between the aero on the back of those Ferraris, and there you go. How brave are you, J-Man? You know, like, how much do you want to take off?
Yeah. So hey, look, I think probably just a note on the last laps. The current point, race leader Jackson Webb with a 2:01.077. Tom Satherling at P2 with a 2 flat .984, and then I'll just skip back to P5, which is P6, which is Crossy, is a 2-minute .9. The next fastest guys. The likes of Aztec, Jake McKellen, Steve Melling in there in 201.8, 201.7 and 202.0. A little bit off the pace, so you'd expect that Crossy may come back to the likes of Steve Melling, Jake McKellen and Aztec over the next sort of 10-15 minutes.
Well, you know, look,
current forecast is not going to improve.
No, well, yeah, that's right. You don't know what the weather's going to do. It could get heavier, it could get lighter. You don't know.
Yeah.
So,
hey, and the pit window's open. Can we check in on Gunther Rowe, who started on a slick tyre? How's that worked out for Gunther? Who's still on a dry tyre?
I don't know. So I can't see that data on.
Okay, so he slipped back. He has slipped back.
And he is
to P22. BK's just pitted, which has changed that because the pits have just opened. His last lap time was a 2:16.8, so he's around 15 seconds off the pace on this current tyre. So that tyre is not working at all for Gunther. Props to you for having a go, Gunther, mate. But yeah, maybe misadvised information from the pit crew there. But mate, we've got to give you reps for sticking it in there. It
Sack
looks
the caddy.
Absolutely bloody handful. Yeah, I think it's been a minute since it was dry, so you might want to get in and change those.
So yeah, tough work for Gunther until he gets that rubber off that car and gets some grooves in some tyres. Yeah, we might just pop back up the front here.
Yeah.
Just see where Jackson's going with this. He's got Tom
McLaren 1, 2, 3.
Well in reach behind him. Team drivers racing in order. Like you said, Aztec rounds out the 3 for the McLarens, J-Man, and
Yeah.
not far behind in fourth. Have Jake McKellar in the
Oh, we've
Ferrari.
got a spinner.
Nice
Who is the
work.
spinner? Is that Tom Satherley's had a spins allowed Aztec to go through into P3. Just on the technical front, I just want to advise some of our viewers that are watching live, some information we are privy to in the streams here as far as onboard telemetry. I can tell you now that the Go Speed racing cars are using a different map to Aztec, who's just gone through after that unfortunate spin from Tom Satherley. You know, the drivers obviously have onboard options with brake bias, traction control, and ABS, traction control, and fuel mapping. And I can tell you now, in these cars in the wet is quite significant, and it's significant as to way the power is delivered. But the other thing as well is it's significant as to remembering that this is an enduro race as to what your fuel burn is. So all I'm going to say at this point of time is that Aztec is on a considerably more aggressive map than the two Go Speed racing cars. So interesting. I'll watch to see how that plays out, Davo. But obviously we're privy to a little bit of information on here. Yeah, as we see the map, Tom
Brendan
Satherley
Rolfe.
doesn't change
Matt
as
Cook.
we come up the straight. So yeah, I don't think he'll have horsepower. Sorry, David, back to you.
No, yeah, just picking up on the Brendan Rolfe, Pete Afsey battle
Yep.
back in the field a little there. J-Man.
Good little battle.
Yeah, good little battle. I don't know how long that's been going on. We've just picked up on it. The camera guys have just swung back and
Have a nudge.
have a look at it through the back of the field there. But I just noticed the bonnet up on the Fast and Dubious Mercedes.
It is too. The sister car across there. It is. You're right.
So just wondering, that's had. Oh well. Pretty well.
Good call.
It's clearly had some contact.
Yeah, good call. You might want to flick those cameras up to the front because the 1-2-3 battle is covered by absolutely nothing. And as I speak, so that's Satherley's got Aztec back, but they've both caught the Wendt car. So I'm not sure what happened there, but there's certainly positional change inside the podium at the minute. The weather playing a massive factor in this race.
So we'll just get a 30-second replay on that. We just
okay, the job's already done. Yep. I think it is. I'm not sure. We'll wait to see that, Davo. But yeah, she's pretty busy up the front at the minute.
She's busy up the front, J-Man.
Boys
go head to head. Even this early in the race, this is like literally 15 minutes in, and it's all happening.
Yeah, it is. It is.
The field's spread a little bit.
Oh, who we got there? Bear Grylls off track. Let's Kenny Simpson and Troy Wilson go through. So that's going to add Ryan Gilbranson. So Bear's had a little bit of a moment there. He's currently got Ash Vetiger right behind him now.
That's unfortunate for Bear.
He's just copped him as well. He's grabbed him there. So got some guys struggling with the weather conditions out there at the moment.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Just see a nice line down the straight there. The boys coming down.
Oh, that is so pretty.
Runway style.
I can tell you now that the front three is very much about to become the front five, Davo. Based on trending numbers, Jackson went last time around at a 207, plays a 203, plays a 202. So
are starting to show, aren't they? So
yeah,
we've seen them creep together before, but in these conditions, very difficult to make a game. We'll pop back up and have a quick look every now and then, but yeah, just difficult situation.
Damien Jones. So I'm getting some information that Damien Jones is attacking. Who is he attacking? Okay, so he's attacking Ashley Vetiger. and he has got Bear Grylls Steve Wilton, aka Farmer, on his tail, and a recovering John McDonald back from P19 up to 16. I think there is a six-way battle going on for positions 12 through 17, 18. So yeah, good battle going on in that sort of three-quarter pack at the moment. So as we just see.
Yeah, the mid-pack, as
What was that? Nick
usual,
Davidson.
on fire.
Was that Nick Davidson? Who was that? Who just went south, mate? Somebody just took a big hit. I'm not sure who it was. But they, yeah. It was a hell of a scene.
Hell of a scene. This sort of weather, it's to be expected, isn't it, mate? And that looks very.
We're only. Okay, so I'm going to say it was Bear Grylls decided to stage left exit. I might just grab our mate down for a second. I just want to get I want to try and get a feel on the weather conditions out there at the moment. He's just had an off, so hopefully we don't upset him too much. Bear Grylls, you got us on comms, mate?
Yeah, bro.
He's pretty wet out, mate. We just saw you had a bit of a hell of a scene, a bit of a moment out of that corner just before. What's your take on the situation out there at the moment?
Just aquaplaned.
Okay, so you're struggling for tyre temp?
No, all good there. It's just amount of water.
Right. Okay. So it's just really, really hard to try and monitor how much water's on what corner, eh?
Yeah. There's
Okay.
a lot on that one.
Yeah, up to that point, mate, you were travelling quite nicely. You're in a nice little battle, working your way up the field. Car looked like it actually had reasonable pace, so I won't hold you up. I won't hold you up for too long, mate. She's a hell of a long night out there still to go, mate. So I'll let you regroup and gather this thing back up and try and work a strategy, work yourself back into it.
Yeah, mate. Cheers, bro.
Good one, mate. Hey, good to see you back on track, pal.
Yeah, mate. Cheers.
Right.
User was moved out of your channel.
Yeah, so a bit of aquaplaning there for Bear Grylls.
Yeah, to be expected in these conditions, mate.
We've had a positional change at the front.
So,
yes, we have.
Mark Joske just pedalling nicely in the Aston. We've had Tom just slip past teammate.
Is that what it was? Okay.
I suspect, team orders. It's not really a passing manoeuvre, so.
Okay.
The top team stays in top position. Aztec not too far behind there,
Jake McKellar not too far behind there, and Steve Melling.
Definitely not.
We said Steve off the start. If the guy gets a good start, we know he races well. He races within his limits all the time. You know what I mean? He's not a guy you'd see spin often.
No, definitely not. Very measured performances from Stephen throughout the years.
What's he got?
Top performer.
He's got about 6 seconds up the road from Crossy. He's about 1.2 behind Jake McKellar. So, he's exiting the same corner on the front straight with him. So, he's on the front straight with all the big boys. He's on the same straight. So
he is. He's on the lead lap, which is always a good thing. So, it's definitely well in touch for Stephen.
Alright,
yeah,
so
nice
Steve
work.
O'Melling. We might grab Steve O'Melling when he comes up onto the front straight when he's got a minute. We won't upset him in the middle of the corners, but we'll wait for him to get on a straight. And I'm thinking that he's in a spot of comfort at the moment. I reckon he actually looks good. The car looks well behaved. And I don't reckon he's pressing at this point. I'm going to say it'll be interesting to see what we hear from Steve-O as he comes through the left-hander. We'll just grab him as he comes through there, and we'll just catch him for a couple of minutes, or not a couple of minutes, but a few seconds while he's on the back straight. Steve-O, just briefly, mate, how you going out there?
Yeah, it's working pretty good with my setup at the moment. I got my pressures, I guess them about right, so they're looking good.
Yeah,
but I think the key's actually got to work them. So when you get into the windy stuff, you actually need to be a little bit aggressive just to get the heat back into it.
Okay. Well, we won't hold you up for too long because obviously we've put you on the back straight. So talk to us when you can, as you just throw it into this fast right-hander. Got Jake McKellar just up in front of you, and we just mentioned that you're basically on the same piece of racetrack as the race leaders at the moment. Currently sitting P5. Great qualifying session for you and a great start. We know you're pretty calculated in your race strategies and your stuff. So whether not looking to improve anytime soon, mate, you'd be just more of the same at the moment.
Yeah, got tyres set ready if it's going to get a little bit colder because of the time of day. So, yeah, if that plays out, then I'll be in another good position in the next stint.
Wicked, bro. That is awesome, mate. Hey, look, loving seeing you up there, man, and love to see what you can make of this thing over the next hour and 40 or whatever we've got left. So, yeah, awesome, bro. Good to see you up there. If we have a chat again, it'll be at a time when you're not under pressure or you're on the back straight. So well done, mate. Keep it up.
Cheers, boys. Thanks, mate.
Bye, mate. Yeah, cool to see me old mate up there. You know, it's just, he's a great racer, and you know this bloody thing here is it's not an easy one to get your car inside the 10 at the best of times. So to be running P5 in one of these things, it's a good job from Steve-O.
Yeah, good effort definitely from Steve Milling. But yeah, just watched him there in car, struggling with a very slick track at the moment, as is everyone tonight.
Oh,
nice work, Stephen.
Where's Farmer? Where is Farmer? Where is Farmer gone? So he's currently behind his teammate. What's going on there? Something's happened there. Oh, look at the battle. Look at the battle from Troy Wilson, Damien Jones, Ryan Gulbranson. That is game on. That is game on. Ashley Vidiger bring up the tail of that pack. Troy leading that pack. And then not too far up the road. Who is that car there? Trying to work out who they're catching up on there in the green. That's Kenny. Why are they catching up to Kenny?
I don't think they're catching up, mate.
No, not down the front.
They're behind him.
They're not. Who's putting the move on there? Is that Jarks having a look at? He was looking at the move on Troy. Ran out of horsepower at the back straight. Oh, did he pull back in there, eh?
He did pull in from way back. Nice work from Jarks.
Oh, it's beautiful driving, actually. Also from Troy. Just to, I guess, have the confidence in the car turning into there, and then actually have the confidence in Jark that he was going to get out of it. I don't think that matter is resolved though, because Jarks is actually flashing the lights at Troy as we speak. So yeah, he's not done. He'd like, oh, they are catching Kenny. Oh, they might not be catching Kenny on the back straight, as we see
Ryan Gulbranson goes off.
Do a parade lap on the infield.
30 seconds. He's looking slippery. He's a bit of a sandwich in between McDonald.
Yeah. JB will just be taking those gifts.
But yeah, just coming out of the final corner there, Ryan just gets it off the ripple strip, just gets a little bit too much gas, turns it around. Everybody else just keeps going. It would have been unfortunate for Ryan to see all those boys just drive away.
Yeah, so we've missed another pass there. So Farmer's repassed JB back again as well. Those roles reversed. And as we speak, Farmer's looking at JB's looking at putting a move on the teammate. So this is the
these guys are obviously trading.
Oh, Farmer having a big wiggle. So struggling for traction. I'd like to see Farmer is on 5. Oh, JB, so he's running the same traction as his teammate, but just not being able to get that power down. So I wonder if there's a tyre pressure issue there.
There's Ashley Vidiger actually runs up on the back of that Damien Jones, Troy Wilson, Kenny Simpson battle. It's could get interesting here, J-Man.
Yep. Yep, so
That's
Ashley's still
an
finding
already
its feet.
intense battle as it is, but Ashley now in the mix and just adding one to the intensity. So yeah, nice work. We are still not even halfway through this race, mate, and
So
yeah,
what's happened to
it's
where's Aztec?
been
Has he made a
fully.
pit stop? He's made a pit stop. Aztec has made a pit stop. So Aztec is the first driver in the pack to have made his official pit stop. Bear Grylls has made one also. But what I can tell you is that Aztec is the first of the official pit stoppers to tick off the first of his 2 compulsory stops for the night. So just want to get a little bit of
Yeah, so it's yeah, just not even half an hour in, he's pulled that off. So yeah, nice work from Aztec.
Yeah, okay, we might try and catch him up the back straight, because what I can tell you is that we just had a weather update and more of the same weather for the next couple of minutes, but I can tell you inside the next 10 minutes the rain is supposed to ease, Davo. So for those of you watching live, we welcome you. I hope you're enjoying the broadcast and all the action going on out there on track in these trying conditions at 10 o'clock, 10:15 at night. ×4 on the time scale, with plenty of weather for these guys to work with. Aztec, the first of the drivers to make his first official pit stop of 2. I wonder whether he has actually pressured those tyres up or down, ready for this next run. As I just grab him as he comes up on the front straight, sizing up Pete Apsey. Aztec, you've got comms on us?
Yep.
Hey mate, I saw you went in for, you're the first of the official stoppers. You obviously talk to us when you can, when you feel comfortable, as you're looking at putting on a move, so we'll just leave you for a second here. Yeah, beautifully done. No issues there. To make an early stop, obviously another set of wet tyres we see go on. Oh, and commentators curse. We might just back out of this, mate, and leave you to it. Sorry, pal.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. We'll press on and leave you to it, eh?
Okay.
That wasn't scripted. Sorry. Jesus, that was a hell of a thing. That's not what we wanted. Sorry, Aztec. I certainly hope we didn't have any part of that. I may actually stop talking to drivers for a little bit in these trying conditions. Jeepers, Davo.
Yeah, just different conditions, like you mentioned there, J-Man, tonight. Obviously, we like all the insight we can get from these boys, you know,
So,
like
yeah,
before, during and after the race, but you know, every now and then.
I'm wondering now whether what the pressures on these tyres are that he's grabbed. And I'm going to send my sincerest apologies, Aztec, when you watch this back. And Gons, if you're still watching, mate, I didn't mean that to happen to your old mate there, but yeah, just a little bit slippery. That potentially cost him in the overcut with the pit stops, because obviously he was playing for a podium position with Tom and Jackson there. With Jake McKellar not too far from him. I'm sure if he gets that right and doesn't have an offer, it'll play a factor. But yeah, given the fact that we're expecting the rain to ease slightly in the next 2 minutes, I'll be interested to see what happens to these tyres.
Yes, so yeah, the weather change will be interesting. Of course, there, J-Man. Obviously, any condition changes, given the situation at the moment with a very slick track, you can see the boys have been struggling, will be a bonus. And I suppose unless it gets, you know, like heavier.
Yep. So we've got a lot of cars pitting. So we've got the likes of, from what I can gather, obviously Aztec's pitted. Troy Wilson's now pitted. Bear Grylls is pitted.
Matt Cook in the pit. No.
Yeah, Matt Cook and BK in the pits. I think BK may have gone.
I think Matt Cook's gone. I've got no one in the pits at the moment.
No, those guys must have vacated the premises. So condolences to them, for whatever reason.
Yeah, so yeah, slippery
But
conditions continue here tonight. Look, we're only half an hour in, J-Man, and
yeah,
it's been hectic so far. Already we got Tom Satherley out in front,
what sort of margin have you got right now?
dominating the race, hasn't he? With
5.9. How did I looked down? It was 1.2 before. Now he's got 5.9. So
yeah, so nice dominating effort there from Satherley. Jackson went, his teammate with the slippery tail in, the
yeah,
front end tail out
great
car.
car control.
Yeah, awesome stuff. So great to watch. In second position, Jake McKellar. Third,
Third for Jake McKellar. Fourth for Steve O'Melling, who
Steve
was
Melling. Nice
he,
work.
mentioning before that he's really comfortable with the car at the moment and
Yes.
got options on tyres. So you
So-
heard him?
So obviously with McKellar and Melling moving up on Aztec, because Aztec having pitted already. So Steve Crossland,
Massive showing from Josco as well.
no pit stop yet. Mark Josco. Craig Stonley back in seventh, just chilling.
Yeah,
Is he just bringing it home, J-Man? Is he just making sure he's got this shit sorted? It's a double points round. I don't. That's it. It seems a bit soft at the moment.
Oh, look,
Damien Jones in eighth.
Yeah,
Nick Davison. Now Nick Davison in ninth. I wouldn't have expected that because the car has been off a couple of times tonight already. Ashley Rediger rounding out the top 10. Now that little battle there, look at that. Look at that group of cars there in front of Ashley Vet. Just get on board with Ash. Look at the spray. Windscreen wipers going hard.
yeah.
But
The track's
look
still
at it.
wet. Rain is easing though, Dave. I've just noticed.
Doesn't look like it on screen at the moment, J-Man.
Yeah, it's probably a lot less falling, mate. You know, like the
But
wipers are
lots
still
of
going, but
spray.
they're going for spray. They're not so much going for rain falling. So expect to see a dry line forming over the next probably 5 laps. Oh, who was that? Was that Kenny Simpson just ranging right up on the back of Ashley Vetiger? That was very, very close. I'm just still curious as to how Tom managed to grab a 5-odd second lead on the team car of Jackson, because that was considerably close.
Well, it only
Melling.
takes a mistake from Jackson, really,
Yeah,
to
so
make
Steve Crossland
that
on the
sort of
back
gain.
Steve
So
Melling
that-
now, Dave.
you know, like it's a no-brainer, really. But look out of the back of Rediger's car there.
Oh, Steve Crossland into the pits, mate.
We see Kenny Simpson and Ashley Rediger round the Bear Grylls Mercedes. Epic stuff.
Good
Steve
work, Ty.
Crossland in the pit.
Crossy to pits. Yeah, greetings from NZ and Aussie to you, Gons. Good to see our Spaniards tuning in. That is freaking awesome, mate. Great to have you on board live. So we've got, yeah, we have got Crossy in. What do we got down here? We got Kenny Simpson attacking the back of Ashley Still, Davo. That pit entry too, I might add, is very, very tight out of the final corner. Those guys must be inside the blend line prior to that coming, otherwise they will cop a 5-second post-race penalty if they cross that line on their entry lap. So something to consider. But geez, Kenny doesn't look too shabby at the moment, Davo. As we see Crossy leaving the pit lane. Where does that play into Aztec? Because Aztec had an incident. Crossy has got him, I believe. Maybe. Hang on.
Yeah, Aztec just slips in. I think it's Aztec, yes. Aztec in behind.
Crossy got Aztec.
Aztec on a warm set of
Yeah,
tyres.
how does that play out?
So that'll be an interesting little battle to watch there for a few moments as we just see the Crossland AMG Mercedes Fast and Dubious team try and manage that situation as they get very sideways.
Gathers it up.
Nicely gathered.
So that's not the first time tonight we've seen the back of that McLaren decides to part company with the track, Davo.
We'll just get a 30-second on that and
That allows
just
the
watch
sister car of
as
Steve
they
Crossland
get
and Pete
very sideways.
Flashing the lights. I don't know that Pete will be too phased by that as he looks to just crowd him a little bit before the right-hander as they come through here. Almost side by side, Aztec getting the better of that situation. Yeah, tell you what. So I'm just going to check that margin. So all of a sudden, something has happened again, Davo. Jackson Went is only 6.5 tenths of a second behind his teammate Tom Satherley. So clearly missed an incident up the front there. But Tom Satherley to lose 5 seconds, something major has happened there. And I can tell you, with the currently shuffling around with Jake McKellar going to the pit lane, is the Castrol car of Steve Melling is now in P3. So it is current podium position for Steve Melling.
Yeah.
And the
That's
Stonley car is in P4. Obviously some pit stops to shake out.
Yeah, definitely pit stops to shake out. But yeah, good looking situation as it stands at the moment for the Castrol
100%.
team.
Damien Jones is in the
yeah.
pits. Steve Crossland.
And now Damien was a leader in that mid-pack earlier in the race. We might just pick on Damien and just see where that car comes out.
I can tell you now, I'm just picking up on the Jake McKellar, the 117 Ferrari of Jake McKellar versus the 43 Mercedes of Steve Crossland. These are the first two cars that have made their first of their official pit stops as we see Melling come into pits as we speak. But the Jake McKellar car is the first of the pit stop cars out on track at the moment. He has managed to cover off Steve Crossland in that pit stop battle. Round one of the pit stops battle, Davo. So it'll be interesting to see once Steve Melling comes out, Jackson Went, Tom Satherley, as to how Jake McKellar shapes up in this battle, because he wasn't that far off the back of those front two.
No, he wasn't. He definitely wasn't. So, yeah, good call. One to watch.
Steve Melling currently in the pits. At the sake of sounding like a fanboy, really looking forward to seeing how this
sounded
shakes
like
out.
a fanboy. Yeah.
I am a bit of a fanboy as we see, who's that just rolling through? That was Josco only rolling through. Okay, I'm looking for the McKellar car as it comes through the front straight. So they've just cleaned them up there. Crossy just picks them up. Stevo's going to slot in. Where is he going to slot in, mate? Where is he
he's
going?
in 5th position.
Okay.
With it looks like, is that?
Who's on his tail? Is that Farmer? No.
It looks like Ashley Ricard.
I think you might be right. Nick Davison, Kenny Simpson, Pete Apsey to the pits as we speak. Some more positions to shake out. So has Ashley Vertigo taken his pit stop? No, he has not.
No, not yet. So only a few boys taken their pit stops. Clearly, they're
oh, that's Aztec with him, bro. That's actually Aztec.
Oh, so that is Aztec.
So he's managed to leapfrog Aztec and all of that, with Aztec having a couple of wild moments. Aztec coming out of P3.
Oh, he did. Actually, he
shuffling down to an effective P5.
He did have a bit of a moment before coming in and after coming out of the pits. So that's obviously cost him there.
Jackson went to the pits. So we'll be looking for Jake McKellar on Jackson went, because that will be critical. As we see the Stonley car. Why is the Stonley car just cleaned up Jackson went in the pits? Oh no, it hasn't. Apologies. He was coming in. So I'm saying Jackson Went is coming out. Where's Jake McKellar? He's onto the front straight. This is going to be close. It is going to be close. It's going to be a lot closer than possibly we thought. He'll be on him with a hot tyre. He will be on him down into turn 1. He is on him. They're both in the same corner. And I believe that is...
He's got a bit of a gap on him, but like you said, he's got a warm tyre, McKellar, so it'll be interesting to see how this pans out.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom Deverley's still out. We're looking to see if Tom makes a pit stop this lap.
You know, like these guys are class acts. I'm sure Jackson's used to this type of pressure there, J-Man, so nice work from Jackson.
Tom Satherley in the lane. Okay, so we only have Mark Josco, Ryan Gulbranson, Steve Wilton, Ashley Vettiger, Brennan Rolfe, who else? And Dre Rodriguez to make their first of their official pit stops. Where are we looking?
We're looking at Satherley in the pits at the moment, J-Man.
Him and Josco in the pits.
And he would probably just be popping off the jacks pretty soon. I'm no doubt he's taking a set of tyres and a good fuel load at a minimum as he leaves the pit lane.
Well, he might have comfortably
Tom Satherley.
He might have comfortably done this.
As we look out of the back of Satherley's, over the back wing of the McLaren.
Yeah, Jackson
the pit
on
lane.
the front straight. Oh, it will be close. It will be a battle for first, second and third, I can tell you.
So Satherley out.
Yeah, not as close as we thought. Okay. Jake McKellar making good. He's currently P3. Crossy, I'm obviously talking provisionally once this shakes out. Crossy, probably making a lot of hay in that.
Josco leaving the pits now. Our first pit stops here, guys. There's still a long way to go in this race. 2 compulsory pit stops, 120-minute race.
Okay. Got a little bit of data I'm just trying to work out here. Trying to work out where the Stonley car is. Okay, so the boys just round up the Bear Grylls car. So Stephen, right on the back of Ryan Gulbranson for P6, looking at P5. Steve Crossan making really good out of those stops, Davo. The first of the official stops. Yeah. I'm saying Steve Crossan was the winner there because obviously after that early spin, that sees him leapfrog.
Yeah. He's gathered that up nicely, hasn't he? Really good
Steve
stop.
Melling.
Yeah.
Because the Gulbranson car hasn't actually made a stop, so he's officially not really fifth. He's kind of wherever he's going to shake out. It'll relegate all of those guys up a Aussie. So you're going to see Steve O'Melling go to fifth, but he's going to be the best part of probably, 6-something seconds behind Crossland. So
for sure. Let's just get in this.
Branson peel off.
Yeah. Let's just get in this Steve Crossland, and just
Yeah, mate.
take a moment and
Cool.
let's watch a lap or two here, and we might just might even shut up for a minute.
I'll grab some
Jamie.
neck oil.
Yeah. Be back in a sec. As we come back from basking in the glory of such a beautiful note of the Mercedes there, as Steve Crossland chased down Jake McKellar. That
You'll see a positional change has happened up front as well. Jackson Wynn actually getting the team car of Tom Satherley at some point.
Yeah, well, that's
Tom
been a
being
sort of
about
been a bit of a theme.
Been
a bit of a theme over the J-Man. These guys trading positions pretty well the whole race. So obviously, teams are teams, and you know, whoever wants to lead leads. And
yeah,
it's
I would say a 208 plays a 201. He's had a massive lose. 7 seconds would be a pretty big lose, I would think.
So yeah, very slick track here tonight. J-Man again.
Yeah, Cloud clearing inside the next 2 minutes. Cloud definite clearing inside the next 7 is the call.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So, albeit there'll be a lot of precipitation still on the track and the race line, we expect the rain to stop falling inside the next 5 minutes.
So it'll be interesting to see how long it takes the cars to dry this track after the precipitation stops. There, J-Man, you know, like it doesn't take long when you've got this many cars on track to just push the water aside and actually start to see a dry line, yeah?
Yeah, well, we talked to a couple of the drivers earlier on and asked them about the potential for, you know, when's the cutoff to go from a slick
Yep.
tyre,
Yep.
from a wet tyre to a slick, or a slick tyre to a wet, and we didn't get any clear answers. But what we do know
We
is,
didn't, did we?
is what they did say is that if you do get that timing wrong, it can be some 10, 12 seconds a lap wrong.
Yeah, it can be costly,
wrong side of
can't
the
it?
ledger. As we see the lights on the Steve Croston car flashing as he approaches Jake McKellar. So just trying to throw Jake off there. Jake,
Yeah,
becoming a seasoned
like
veteran now.
like Jake needs a flash of the headlights with Crossland well back, and McKellar definitely holding his own. So, yeah, interesting to see the little tiny mind games, isn't it?
Well, it is.
J-Man, you know, these guys. There's always a little bit of smack talk before the race. There's a bit of the flashing of the headlight.
Jacks. Who we got in the pits? We got B-Dog in the pits. We have got B-Dog in the pits. So he's getting some attention to the 79 Porsche. Yeah, so Tom back on
And
Jackson's
B-Dog
pace.
well down.
Oh, Pete Apsey having a big slide there in front of
To
Tom
the
Satherley.
field.
Here is where's Aztec in relation to Steve-O there, Davo? Is he making ground there, or?
So,
Yeah, sort of. Only in there. I'm looking for the BC racing cars as we speak. Where's Farmer? He's inside the 9, inside 10. John Boy just outside the 10. It's been a tough old night for those boys. Still a long, long way to go.
we just see Steve Crossland
What's happened to Steve
range
Crossland?
up on Jake McKellar there as he rounds up his teammate Pete Aspey.
Okay, that's what it was. Okay, I'm with you.
Well back through the field. So just as you can see, the leaders coming around and taking some positions. Some of these guys.
Crossy looking quite strong at this point.
Crossy looking well strong. All the field has pitted except for looks like B-Dog and Steve Wilton.
Crossy for a move on McKellar into turn 1.
So nice move.
Yeah, beautiful.
Get a replay on that.
Yeah, Jake fighting that too hard. Is still a long, long way to go, and changeable conditions. You know, the track still wet, but as we look up
definitely.
at the if we look up at the graphics, and what we can see is on my graphic, it's currently got no rain falling, so I'll be looking to see a drying line forming inside the next 5 minutes, and you know, we'll probably see some guys dive in. I understand about inside the next 3.5 minutes, it potentially becomes possible to run a fuel number home, Dave.
Yeah. That still that doesn't mean much though, because these guys still need to do 2 compulsory pit stops throughout the race.
As we see the times from the front 2 runners falling into the 2-minute flats, Davo, we know the track is obviously drying. It's the fastest times we've seen of the race.
Yes. And so, yeah, it definitely makes a difference on their fuel strategies. You know, although they have to do 2 compulsory pit stops, it will change the outcome. Obviously, the weather will as well, like you just mentioned, J-Man. As we just pick up on Craig Stoneley running around in pretty clean air at the moment in 7th position. His teammate Steve Mellingers will just pick up on as well in 5th.
Yep. He's still going really, really well.
He is doing excellent as he comes across the start-finish line, 5th position.
Yeah, Aztec quite a bit faster that lap, probably 3.5 tenths faster that last lap than Steve-O. So he's coming. But yeah, certainly last lap round Jackson went with all the pace at a 2-minute flat 0.4 versus 2:01.2 for Satherley and a 2:01.098 for Crossy. So
Yeah, no, well done from those boys. Steve Wilton running down the back straight.
Yep.
Kenny in tow. I think it's Troy Wilson, Steve Wilton, Kenny Simpson. All for
I'm having a
we
huge
just
lose.
see huge lose. Like, wow, here we go.
That's massive. Those rears will be hot now.
Let's have a look at that.
As the leaders just round them up there too.
Yeah, you just wonder whether these boys are too busy looking at their big lose from Wilton.
The Steve Melling just needs to find a few tenths at the moment just to hold off Aztec in this battle for the top 5.
He does. He needs to find something just enough, isn't it, J-Man? You know, just enough to hold him back, especially with the rain stopping now. The track will dry.
Yeah, is there a camera angle that'll give us a bit of an insight, Davo, on how this track's progressing, or we can't really see at this point in time due to the time of the day, or is there actually a dry line out there you can see?
Have a bit of a look at the front of Stephen's car here, and you can actually see a dry line already.
Okay.
Well, just
yes, you can.
Yeah, it's a slightly less wet line anyway.
Yeah,
I wouldn't actually call it a dry line, but
yeah,
you can see some difference in the line there straight away. We can look at the back as well as we see Aztec.
Yep.
A little bit less spray from Stephen's car.
Yeah, 100%.
And definitely when he gets onto that preferred line on track, even less spray again. So yeah, interesting.
Yeah, look, I expect to see these guys in the 59s shortly. So who will be the first into the 59s? Yeah, hard to say.
You're the data man, mate.
I'm gonna say
it's got to be Jackson or Thomas.
Well, I'm gonna say Crossy's gonna make it there first.
Okay, who's your money on, people? Put the bets down now. Crossland, McKellar, Melling, Satherley, Went. Maybe it's Aztec, Stoneley, Josco, Davison, McDonald. McDonald's in 10th. Is he going to do the fastest lap? Watch this track dry here, people.
Yeah, this track is drying out.
The light looks different, even as the clouds clear a little bit and a little bit less rain. We get a little more vision. The stream looks lovely. You can see the reflection on this track. It's looking fantastic. Just chasing Melling's car at the moment.
Yeah, I see that.
Drop back through the field here a little bit. Go back to the Porsche.
E-Dog.
Brendan Rolfe.
Just rounds out around the outside of Rodriguez, who just has a bit of a wiggle coming into pit lane there.
He has a fair bit of a wiggle. Bear Grylls
Come in, he was just on that inside line.
in the green, bright green Mercedes. Steve Wilton back in 17th. What's going on, Steve Wilton?
And what's happening with Farmer there?
Up your game, brother. I would expect more from
That must
you.
have been after that big lose.
Pete at Apsy. Bam. To the back straight. Sister car to the Steve Crossland Pink Panther, the Fuss and the Dubious team. Kenny Simpson in the bright.
Who makes the call, Davo? Who makes the call onto a slick first? Is it Aztec? Does he make the call? Does he make it real shortly? Is Steve Melling holding him up and he makes the call to go to a slick?
Oh, look, I think...
he's been on that tyre longer than anyone else in this battle.
Yeah.
I'm saying Aztec's going to come in real soon.
Put your bets in, people.
It's not on this lap, I can assure you that. But I may lose the bet on who's going to jump into the 59s first, because I think Jackson Went's about to do it.
I think Aztec's going to attack before then. Oh, very, very sideways from Aztec as he comes into T1. Ranging up on the back of Melling, hardcore. A very slippy, cold night, J-Man.
Yeah, look, hey, you look at
it, the track temperature's 9, ambience 9, it's very wet, very cold. These guys are doing an awesome job to keep this together. A long race.
Watson McLaren got down the back straight on the Aston.
We are only just in the first, just going over the first hour of this race. See Aztec, it's just too late. It gets the punch, but it's way down the end of the straightaway. It's got nothing.
Not enough.
It's not enough.
No. And the boys still not in the 59s, the track not that dry yet. I'm expecting once we see the 59s, that's when the boys will go in for a slick tyre. So I think probably in the next 5 minutes we'll see some movement around the last of the official pit stops.
Yeah, because you'd expect their tyre,
their
tyre temps will judge where they come in, really. Because it'll just get too hot. It won't work properly.
Would be one of the first to go, but I could be wrong.
Oh, surely not.
Jackson is currently 6.9, so he's got a great lead up on his teammate at this point in time.
Yeah, these guys trading places throughout the evening. So far, it's an hour in, J-Man. Yes, I know
McDonald
you said...
and Dick Davidson. Wow, that's a hell of a battle. Get a camera on that.
We'll get down McDonald, Nick
side
Davison,
by
side by
corners,
side.
Even if you can get a 30 seconds on that, that's a hell of a battle.
Let's have a look at that.
Those boys going at it, so that is for 9th and 10th position.
Look at that. No love lost between the two marks. Davison, newcomer.
John
McDonald, multiple champion winner. Great battle.
Stevo's still holding off Aztec. That's an awesome battle too.
Steve Aztec.
down to 20 runners tonight out of the 23 starters, so we've lost 3. Not too bad. Great showing from Jake McKellar tonight, Davo, I've got to say. Stepped up this week.
Yeah, well done from Jake. We just pick up on Crossland in the Merc, in clean air. Just running the race. It's he's in a good position.
Well, he is in a good position.
And he's just really got to just focus and keep his eye on the prize here. Double point, and he knows the boys in front, they're behind him in points. Just going to keep together as he gets very sideways at the Merc, so you can see that Crossland's still pushing J-Man. Right. Even this far into the race, like we're an hour and 10 minutes nearly into the race. And
do we see the first 59? Oh, so close, 2 minutes, 0.39. Very, very close. 2 minute point 222. These boys are knocking on the door of 59s. I can smell a slick tyre coming. I really can.
Well, you know better than anyone, J-Man.
It's coming. We see Steve Melling's about to post his quickest lap of the race. It's just going to be a low 1, which he kind of needs to do right now, 2:01.2, because Aztec has just mirrored that pace on a 2:01.2 as well. So Aztec got everything Steve-O has at the moment as far as race pace. Both these guys stringing the session out to see what sort of tyre they're going to run at the end. And I can imagine all of these boys don't want to bolt on a tyre until they know what the weather's doing for the final stint of this race. One guy who has taken a gamble is Dre Rodriguez. So Dr. Dre going in there and getting his stops done. So here's the first driver to complete his official pit stops. He is he's multiple laps down, but he has done his completed stops. As we see another degree of temp just fall out on this track too, Davo. So down to
it's getting degrees down, isn't it? It's
1 o'clock in the morning.
It's very late. Although the rain has stopped, it's still a very slick track. Even given the slightest of dry line, the boys are still really having to work for their times, and you know, like that that 9 that you're talking about is still.
It's about to come, I'm sure.
It is, but geez, they're working hard for it, aren't they?
It's a 9.8 from Jackson.
It is a 9.8. There you go.
Yeah, the ghost speeder on the pace, and a 2 minute flat point 2 from the second car from Tom Southerly. So
nice work.
Expect to see a little bit of movement in the pits over the next couple of minutes. I mean, I called it probably 7 minutes ago. I was probably a little bit premature, but I think the weather is trending towards the dry, and definitely possibly, you know, given the fact that we're going to see this race finish out at about 2:30 in the morning, I would say pushing those tyres up would be a good call. Overpressuring the tyres as you leave the pits.
Well, it couldn't hurt, could it? Just to get a little bit more temperature into them, if nothing else. The track, although wet, will start to dry.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely good call, J-Man. Like I said, you'd know better than anyone.
So just looking 34 laps into this race. Oh, I'm just hanging for who's going to make the first. Is it Jackson? You know, does Jackson lead in the way? Does he go, or does he? You know, you got to be careful, because if somebody jumps on that slick tyre, how big is the undercut? Or if they jump on it and it's too early, is it a master stroke and he ends up doing an overcut because he goes on it later?
Yep.
The other thing to consider too, Davo, is when these guys last stopped and how much fuel have they got underneath them. You know, we know a lot of these guys are running about a 68 to 70 litre fuel strategy for the 2 stops, so times that by 3, how close are these guys getting? I'm saying that some of them's got to be getting pretty close.
Definitely, as we just see Aztec sliding around in the McLaren behind Steve Melling, struggling to keep up. Fantastic footage.
Unbelievable. I'd like to see who blinks first there. Neither of those two. Ryan Branson in. He was and currently, I think he was P30, so he is gone from the stop. So Steve Wilton done his final stop as well. He's 3 laps down.
So is Gilbranson the first one in for the dry tyre? Can you see the dry tyre?
I can. If he puts it on, I can see it, and I can tell you that he is...
Because it really is inevitable, isn't it, that these boys are going to have to go to a dry tyre. With the conditions at the moment.
You would say so. So he's currently on a wet.
Wilton in as well, is it?
Yeah, Steve Wilton's in. Or is he out now? Farmer's out. He's still on a wet. Uncle Branson, what does he put on? What does he put on?
So Wilton, he's 2 compulsory pit stops down.
Gilbranson on a dry tyre.
Gilbranson first to take the gamble.
Yep.
It's to be expected, isn't it?
Wilton's on a wet tyre. He went back out on a wet tyre.
Do you think he'll suffer from it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that was the right call.
Yeah. You don't think it's going to rain again, do you?
No, I'm saying that it's going to be pretty dry. I'm just looking at Ryan Branson. He's really struggling for grip on that slick tyre. So
I'm sure he's going to struggle for the first couple of laps till he gets some temp into that thing, and the track will have to dry a little bit more, and he's going to have to chase that dry line, isn't he, J-Man?
Yeah, look, it's pretty shiny. I just caught him through a couple of corners, and he was offline as we just see him go off track, and I think he's about to have a spin. No, he saves it, but yeah, how do I say it? Maybe just a touch too early.
Just a touch too early.
It could be a little bit too early.
Well, that will be one to watch, won't it, J-Man?
It will.
Oh, as he struggles again, he's going in hard. Oh, that's tough.
He's hit that hard, mate.
Just get a 30-second on that, and he's just had a little bit of, he's just coming out of just having a little bit of a moment there earlier on, as you called. He's just starting to get it back up to speed as he comes around through the back section here. He's gone very wide.
Steve Melling as we speak, Davo.
Awesome.
Absolutely giving it to him. Oh, that's a huge moment, all right, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was big. I just caught that actually on the live stream, and that was a big moment. I want to see where the movement is. So Ryan Branson went back to, did he go back to pits, or he's called it a night? Called it a night as we see Aztec putting a pass on Steve Melling. Has he got the horsepower? I believe he's got it done this time. Evo probably won't fight that too hard. Oh, hang on. Maybe he might. Maybe.
Maybe he will. Maybe he won't.
Okay.
The track is still drying, and Melling, knowing the points that are available, I'm sure he's just biding his time. as did Aztec. But yeah, nice move from Aztec there. Clears the Castrol car nicely. Look, not just a little under 45 minutes to go here.
Yeah, I'm real curious as to how these final stops shake out, Davo.
Yeah, the final stops. Only a couple of guys in so far.
Couple of guys into the 59s now that the Ghost Speed Racing boys are into the 59s. 59.8 for Jackson and 59.5 for Tom. Consecutive different laps. So, but yeah, the last one was Tom. So Tom finding a little bit of pace the last lap round, but he has got some jeepers. I think he's got around, what do we got? 7.7 seconds up the road to his teammates. So all
It
to play.
doesn't look like that much, but
Is Steve-O just fallen off the back air stick after that pass? So he just needs to regroup, maybe work out what his try strategy is right now and where he's going to play that in, and whether he can play himself back into that 5th position through his pit stop ball or...
definitely, and yeah, we'll just take this moment again to thank everybody for joining us on Twitch live or afterwards on YouTube and or Twitch.
Yeah, 100%.
For round 3, the first Enduro of the season, and yeah, thanks to SJS, thanks to Zero Vision, and here we are picking up
Thanks to you, Davo.
with Tom Satherley still chasing down his teammate Jackson Wen.
He's pressing hard, but Jackson doing a 59.2 there that last lap, which tells me the track is really coming alive now with 41 minutes to go. This is going to heat up towards the back end.
Yep. The rain has stopped, and who's brave enough to go in for the dry tyre, should I say?
Well, Aztec and Steve are in, I can tell you that much.
And we were watching guys before, wondered who would take the tyre or who wouldn't hit. Look, here we go.
Okay,
Look at these guys. Nose to tail on their pit boxes. You tell me who's taking the tyre. I'm sure both of them are going to take the dry, don't you? You know it.
Well, I don't know. Look, I don't know until they drop off the jack, so I'll give you that call as soon as we see them drop off. But we know we have to wait 30 seconds for that. So probably around 20 seconds to go before we can give you that information. But I would well suspect both of them to go on the dry. So I can tell you now that Aztec has come out on a wet, as Steve Melling has come out on a wet. So they both think it's a wet tyre race. Wow, I'm surprised.
There you go. So if you were racing this race,
I would Damon, be on a dry.
You would be on a dry now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because basically...
You'd leave it as long as you could, but you'd...
Yeah, so basically inside the next 7 minutes, even albeit there's only a tiny little bit of cloud around, so still 20 cars, 19 cars circulating on track.
And 40 minutes to go.
And 40 minutes to go. This is not a wet tyre race in the back 20 minutes, I'm telling you now.
There's no way. No way. It's going to get hot, isn't it?
Yep. Well, it's not going to get hot because it's 2 in the morning, but I'm saying it's going to get dry and those
but the tyre's going to get hot and squishy and it's not going to work, is it?
Yeah, 100%. So Ashley Vetiger to the pits. So it'll be interesting to see what the call is for Ash Vet. He came in on a wet tyre and we'll see what he departs the lane with. The big call.
Yeah, interesting to see what Ashley comes out with.
He's on a wet tyre.
There you go.
Pete Epsy,
There
and
you
he'll
go.
be on comms with the team car of Steve Croston, as he currently is running in P3, and so he'll have comms with the team car, and I'm sure Crossy will be advising him of where he's going to go. So I think if we see Pete drop down on a slick tyre, expect to see Crossy do the same. What does he do as we see him come off the jacks? And he is on a dry tyre.
So who's that?
Pete Epsy is on a dry tyre. Yep, the Pete Epsy is on a dry tyre. I wonder whether that information was fed through to him from the team car.
Yeah,
yep.
Surely.
John McDonald
in. Look at this, look at this. Out of the back of Epsy's car. It's just coming right amongst the leaders by the looks of it there.
Mate. Yeah. Okay, be interested to see what John McDonald does in here. Season campaigner.
So this will be an interesting to look at. Oh, as he comes to grip. Well, pardon the pun.
How's it looking?
Not good for Pete Epsy.
Okay. Everyone we've seen go to the dry tyre, it hasn't been good.
Well, they've been on this.
John McDonald.
Been on the wet for an hour and a half so far. J-Man, well, nearly.
Okay.
So Epsy, I'd just be interested to see how he goes catching up to Bear Grylls. You were just saying that McDonald has come into the pits and come out on a
dry tyre.
A dry tyre as well. So if anybody can do it, this man can.
Yep. So I'll be interested to see what Aztec's lap time is.
Have a look at. We'll just stay on McDonald for a little while.
Oh, Aztec's had a lose.
See how. Oh, we better get up there. Have a look at that.
Yeah, he just had a half a lose.
Half a lose now.
Yeah, gathered it up. But his lap time as he comes across is a 0.29. That's not a bad lap time.
With a half a lose.
Yeah, with a half a lose. Oh no, he's had a full lose there. Sorry. Not a full lose, there's another half lose. Jesus, he's doing a great job of gathering this thing up. But I'm just wondering, is that tyre getting hot?
Well, I did mention that earlier, and just the temperatures are going to change with these guys.
I might just grab Steve-O as he
go back
as he goes onto the front straight.
John McDonald, who is running, and probably the most skilled person to do so on a dry tyre. So we'll just
grab Steve-O there, Davo.
Oh, okay.
Copy, Steve-O. Copy, Steve-O. You got me?
Copy.
Wet tyre was the call for that second pit stop, mate. Is that the right call?
Yeah, it is, because the track's just not drying out. There's no sun, there's no wind.
Right.
So it's just staying wet.
Okay, we see the Aztec car in front of you having a few troubles. So just wondering whether it was a pressure issue or...
It could be.
He had a couple of half spins. We've seen...
one of them dry.
We see a couple of guys grab a dry tyre on that and not do too well. So
no, that's not good.
Be interested to see how that plays out. But you're quite comfortable on your wet tyre right now?
Yeah, pressure's good. But it will, if it dries a line, then we'll be in trouble. We'll just start searching for water a little bit.
Right, okay. Oh, well, okay, well, we'll watch that with interest, mate. But hey, a solid drive, man. You got a good thing going on, so we'll leave you to it. Won't hold you up for too long. Last time we talked to somebody that spun out, so we'll leave you to it.
Okay, mate.
Bye-bye. Okay, so he's comfy, Davo?
Yeah, awesome. As we just see McDonald back in the pits, we just wonder whether he's reverting back to our wet tyre.
We'll tell you in a minute.
After a couple of laps on the dry. So yeah,
did he even do 2 laps? Did he?
bit of an insight from Steve Melling there on the
John
conditions
McDonald,
out
I
there.
can tell you, is on a wet tyre now.
So there you go, McDonald out on a dry, I think J-Man mentioned earlier on his first pit stop there, and now back out on a wet tyre. So obviously the conditions not ideal yet.
Yeah, I can tell you now, Troy Wilson's out there on a dry tyre.
And Troy Wilson just managing things nicely in the Aston, isn't he?
Yep.
Little bit of understeer still from said Aston, but yeah, just managing things nicely. Long race, and it is double points for this round, so the boys will be.
Yeah, Pete Epsey's still managing that dry tyre as we speak. I just picked up on him and just having a big spin on that dry tyre into the fence. Unfortunate for Pete, but he is the first of the guys running a dry tyre. I guess second to him would be Troy Wilson. He's not that far from him.
No.
But
we just picked back up on Jackson leading the race at the moment.
What's his gap? Still around 7.8.
Doing
yes.
nicely in the McLaren. Teammate not that far behind, as you just mentioned, J-Man, Tom Satherley. These guys are a force to be reckoned with.
Yep, Crossy in third, so that's a great recovery from Crossy.
Yeah,
Craig
nice work
Stoneley.
from
Craig Stoneley in fourth. So that's a great drive from Craig Stoneley. So he still has to stop. All those guys still have to stop. So expect Jake McKellar, Aztec, and Steve Mellings to still feature at the back end of this race, given that they've finished their mandatory stops, as Craig Stoney just comes up on the back of Pete Epsey. That was a bit awkward there for a minute, but gets that job done. Just watching to see the leader. Currently Jackson Went just rounding out Brendan Rolfe for that position there. B-Dog a back marker there, just getting out the way. Well, we'd like to think he was getting out the way. Track is currently drying out, though tyre temps on the wets will be a factor. Yeah, good call, Ryan. A little bit water on track following behind the spray and the wipers on. Okay, so nice little insight there from a driver that's retired the car from the night. So condolences there to Ryan Gilbranson for whatever his issues were. I think we saw him in the fence pretty heavily, so that might have been a bit terminal there. But yeah, so clearly the wets, even though we haven't seen a lot of rain for a long time, still a massive factor here as far as the correct tyre to be on, given the fact that, like Steve Melling said, the track at this time of the morning at 2 in the morning, there's no sun, there's
very
no wind,
cold. It's cold. Very wet.
It's just nothing's happening. So
and it's not drying out.
Groove tyre.
It's not drying out. So yeah, groove tyre is clearly the tyre of choice at the moment.
Tom Satherley in. So this is, and he's had a massive moment coming into pit lane.
Okay, well, let's get a little bit of a look at that.
Yeah, gathers it up. Incredible job of saving that. So yeah, pushing to the absolute limit on the way in there.
Yeah, tough stuff in these conditions, and we just keep talking about these conditions, J-Man. It just is what it is, and very slick, very cold. And as we see Satherley just try and just get it together.
Yeah.
And just deal with it as he drops into the pit lane there. Nice work. It'll be interesting to see where Satherley...
Is that crossing in? No, it's Stoneley in the lane. I'd like to know what Tom's done. He's going back out on a wet tyre. He is going back out on a wet tyre.
Yeah, so here we go. It's a bit of a flurry of pit stops here as the boys go.
Yes, Stonley and Simpson in. I tell you what, the Wash boys will be busy at work after this session, albeit it's night time and it's raining. When the sun comes up tomorrow morning for these
Get
cars,
alone
they
how
will be
close
filthy.
Stonley's car is to the fence.
Oh my gosh, what's the deal with that?
Is he gonna back that shit up or what?
Oh my god. Oh no, he's got a bit of room. He's got a little bit of room. It looks probably worse than what it is.
It does look worse from a certain camera angle there.
Yep. Oh my god.
This camera angle here, it looks terrible.
Yeah, 100%.
It looks like he's parked hard up against the fence.
Oh, it does, mate. It does, as we see.
But he is clearly not, as he just slips out of the pit lane now.
As we see, Jozzy was in behind him. Race leader Jackson went and had just under an 8-second lead as he came in. Be interesting to see how this plays out. Crossy's still out there. Crossy in the lane now also, sorry. So Crossy doing a great job of getting the car in there nice and tidy actually. So in the lane. I get a read. Okay, so Tom Satherley out. He's coming around that section there. Jackson's still in the lane. Crossy's still in the lane. Mark Josco doing a phenomenal job in this race. Kind of likes Paul Ricard, does the Brit. They're going well in the neighbouring France, so that's awesome stuff.
Yes, he is.
Jackson went, leaving the lane. Be interesting to see.
Also, Crossy leaving the lane now as well.
Yep. Where is Jake McKellar? He's still a fair way back. So
as we look out at the back of Crossland's car.
Yep.
And I see a McLaren flash past.
Yep. It might be a car grabbing a lap back. That might have been actually Vittiger.
It did look like a blue and gold McLaren, so it's either Ash Red or Aztec.
Yeah, I think you'll very much find it was Ash, because Aztec's just coming across the line now. Jackson out on a wet tyre, Tom on a wet tyre, Crossy on a dry tyre. So the front three.
So Crossland's gone to a dry tyre.
Yeah, he gone to a dry, so he's expecting something special in the final 25 minutes. He's rolling the dice because he was kind of well ahead in third, but not making any roads.
That's a big roll. You know it, J-Man, because we've seen a few of the boys come back in and change back. So
yeah, appreciate the support, Ryan, on the stream in the comments, mate. We love bringing this to you guys, and yeah, hope you enjoy it. What's the call, Ryan? You're watching it live, mate. Is this the right call for Crossy with 25 minutes to go? Is this going to dry out enough? Is he going to make enough tyre temp as we see him run off at the right-hander?
Yeah, well, it's going to take him a little while to just get his head around that grip level, mate, and adjust. You know, like they've run for like over an hour and a half now with a wet tyre, very sticky tyre, even given the rain. So yeah, it will be an adjustment. Braking markers will change.
Yep.
But look, these boys up the pointy end, the top three, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be these boys. So up the pointy, Jackson went just smashing it out in the McLaren on a soft tyre, on a wet tyre.
He did too, Davo.
Steve-O, he did too.
Yep.
Well done, Stoneley.
Bears come out with a wet tyre on. Troy Wilson still with the dry tyre and actually just running off, and unfortunately that allows, not sure who that was. They did get through. Speed Apps still nursing the dry tyre. Palmer on a wet.
Yeah, so
Andrew's on a
definitely
wet.
multiple differences between
Oh yeah.
guys. Just like it's such changing conditions, J-Man, and
I'm thinking Crossy's vulnerable here, mate. Crossy's going to be vulnerable to Jake McKellar and Aztec, mate, before the end of the race. If this tyre doesn't come up, he is vulnerable to Jake McKellar and Aztec. So
so it'd be interesting to see how this track dries. Look, the ambient temperature is it's cold.
Oh,
It's cold.
freezing,
It's
mate.
9. The track temp is 9. It is freezing here. The rain stopped at least 15 minutes ago, but the track remains wet. It's just not drying. The boys are struggling to. We've seen a few tyre changes already. Some guys going to the dry tyre and then coming back in and going back to the wet because it just isn't providing the grip level required to keep up. So let's watch this space. McKellar, like you said, Crossy vulnerable at the moment. McKellar, we can already see Crossland in just in front of McKellar.
Yeah, Crossy this lap though, I've got to say, I've just got to pass mention, the last lap was a 2:05.2, plays the 59s at the front boys ran, but he's now half a second up this lap, so is he about to find some grip? You know, if he keeps it on the dry line, is he about to find some grip? I mean, he's
Look, if anybody can do it,
J-Man.
If anybody can do it, I mean, these guys, the guys up the front here, look, I can just see McKellar back there in the distance.
What's Crossy got down the road? So Southerly's 9.9, nearly 10 seconds off of the marker of the team car. So you would expect McKellar's 3.5 seconds behind Crossy. Crossy is around, I'm just looking for a split, 28 seconds.
Yep.
So he's a long way off. He's not making any inroads of those boys, albeit he's looking like he was nearly a second up this lap.
It's not enough, is it?
It's way not enough. We need to be like 5 seconds a lap up at the moment. And then you got guys like Tom Satherley who's posting faster sectors, so is Jackson Wynn.
Yeah.
And Jackson's already into the 8-second bracket, so I think clearly the wet tyre. I think Crossy now is subject to the yellow and black Ferrari in the mirror. That's the issue.
Yep.
Can he maintain a podium?
He will be watching that Delta really closely at the moment.
Yep. Just picking up on Ryan's comment there, the Castrol cars do look great, and yeah, we did mention the second car in the JR Racing stable of Jake McKellar. I'm saying that your teammate Ryan, he's looking solid for a podium here, mate. 19 minutes 50 to go. Keeps us all together. Currently up on his Delta. He's already made half that margin we called last time. We said he was around 3.6 seconds off of Crossy. He's now 1.6 seconds off. So it's inside the next 2 laps. He's going to catch that Fast and Dubious Racing Mercedes and pass it. It may be before that actually. He's under a second. So Crossy really struggling on the green slick tyre. So props to Jake, hunting him down there. Good call. Yeah, I'd say it's not if, it's just when now, Davo.
Yeah, absolutely. As we just pick up on some of the boys down the back. Brennan Rolfe in the Porsche, glowing exhaust from the Porsche.
Oh.
Bear Grylls in the Merc again. Just spectacular sights here at night with lots of glowing brakes and exhaust pipes. Nice, interesting race tonight with the wet conditions. So
yeah.
Oh,
Crossy with a big lose there,
spectacular.
mate, up the front.
So Crossland with a bit of a
Jake
faux
McKellar up the
pas.
inside of the final turn. I'd say this
So we're
will
gonna
be all she
go.
wrote. Oh, maybe Crossy got some big horsepower down the front straight, Davo.
So
He's
then
good under brakes.
quick replay on Crossland's lose here as McKellar comes up behind him and
He's doing a
starts
great
putting
job of
pressure
fighting
on
it
him.
off. Actually begs the question, Davo. Whilst Crossland is holding up the McKellar Ferrari, where is Aztec? How far back is Aztec? No, he's still 10 seconds, so no real threat there at the minute. It just depends on how much Crossy's holding up Jake.
Well, to be honest, I think he's holding up Jake plenty because Crossy being on a dry tyre at the moment, although the Merc has plenty of punch down the straight, it's definitely not performing in the corners at the moment, mate.
Yeah, Jake's just got to get his timing right here. He's just got to hang back and then pounce on him somewhere, you know.
Accordingly, yeah, definitely.
In the corner, somewhere.
Yeah, and really, given the right situation, it shouldn't be too difficult.
He's got so much more grip off the corner. He just needs to Crossy has a big slide there. It'll allow Jake to catch back up a bit. He just needs to size them up here. Squeeze the car down the inside somewhere and just take the line away. And I think the rest will be meat and drink. Yeah, because Aztec's made up a second on this battle already, albeit, like, you know, I know it's only a second and he was 10 odd to go. He's now 9.1 and there's still 15 minutes to go. So currently trending on the current numbers. I mean, you know, if Crossy can maintain this, it'll pull back as Aztec's now 8.1, so it's another second as Crossy has a huge lose.
I can't see Crossy. He didn't have a huge lose, but he just can't keep it in check enough to keep McKellar out. And it's inevitable McKellar's going to get this done. Here we go. Now that is more of a huge lose.
There you go.
As we see.
Yeah. I think Crossy just out driving that tyre's capability then was all that was. It was just probably might have served himself better just to roll out of it, try to maintain.
He probably should have, as long as he doesn't lose too much from it. But McKellar definitely put the pressure on. Crossland, ever the racer, is not going to give that up. And just as we see him.
But bearing in mind now, Aztec's only 4.9 seconds off of Crossy now, so yeah.
Yeah, so he's got another contender because we still have nearly 15 minutes to go, J-Man, and a lot can happen in 15 minutes, as you know.
Oh my God, 15 minutes, yeah. Yeah, it's...
Especially given the conditions we're looking at tonight, mate, anything could happen. We'll just back and have a look at Only and Melling.
Yeah, what's happening there? Only pulled a little bit away. Yeah, he's got a few seconds on his teammate, so he's 3.6 seconds up the road now.
Josco in 8th.
Jozzie's still doing an awesome job in 8th. A little bit wide as we speak.
Should
But
we roll down to the field there? We got
yeah. And so after Jozzy, we've got Nick Davison in ninth. So Nick Davison inside the 10 again. Consistent results. 3 rounds in, this guy's still in there. Ash Vediger, this is a good comeback from Ash because he was well down the field early on in the night. So to see him back in P10. Kenny Simpson up to P11. Ahead of somebody with the credentials like John McDonald. That's a great night for Ken. So
it is
JB
a
in
good
12th.
it is a good effort.
Sharks is in 13th. Obviously just made a pit stop. I can understand because it's telling me he's on an outlap. Steve
It
Wilton,
is,
aka Farmer, is in 14th. Bear Grylls, good to see Bear back and sticking this out. This is a big one to come back. You know, currently not made many rounds due to a back injury, so to come back and do a 2 hour is a great effort. So well done, Bear.
Yeah, nice work there.
Troy, great to see Troy out there. Aston, P16. Ryan suffering some terminal failures there, so Ryan out and currently spectating with us, which we appreciate.
yeah, and commenting on our Twitch. Thank you very much, Ryan.
Yeah, Pete Epsey currently in P17. Got Mark Josco about to just round him up as a back marker.
Yeah, see that.
B-Dog digging deep. He's in 18th. Dre, solid effort, mate. Still running out there in P19th, and that would round out the current runners
It would.
down to 19th out of 23. So condolences and commiserations to the guys that haven't managed to finish this one. It is a 2 hour. It was going to be always an effort at night.
Always
going to
be a toughie, and at night in the rain is the key, J-Man. what an effort, and hasn't it been epic so far?
Oh, it's been amazing, mate. You know, and like, you know, I guess an hour and 48, 49 minutes in or something at the moment, you know, front runners are separated by, I think, some 9 seconds or something like that.
Yeah,
and
it's
then,
bloody close, isn't it?
Yeah, Aztecs point nothing away from Rossi at the moment, or has he actually got the job done? He might have already got the job done. Would that be
He
correct?
does, he does. Let's have a quick look at.
And Stoneley, for good measure, is about to round up. Is actually about to round up Crossy as well, and apply all sorts of pressure with 11 minutes to go on Aztec, I suspect, because Stoneley won't. Oh, big slide from Crossy. That's all the invitation that Stoneley will need to head up the back straight. Has the Aston Martin got enough horsepower in a straight line? I think it has. It has. Crossy will jump in under the wing, but probably do no good to try and pass him back because he won't have the grip of the corner. I just seen someone got a stop go. Who is that? Paul has just issued a stop go to car number 16. Who is that? Troy Wilson. Troy Wilson's just received a stop go for 10 seconds. Okay. Yeah, so Stoneley rounds up Crossy. How far back is Steve-O? Has Steve-O potentially got an opportunity to move up into P6 on Crossy?
No, unless he's got some.
4.7 seconds behind with 10 minutes to go.
So yeah, nice work from. Clearly Jackson Went, Tom Satherley, and Jared McKellar, but Aztec and Stoneley and Steve Crossland, it's still battles going on as we see Stoneley range up on the back of Aztec.
Yeah, that's not resolved.
And where did Stoneley come from?
Well, I'll tell you what, he's got big brakes in the wet, I can tell you.
He has come from nowhere. He was so far down in qualifying.
Yeah, it worked his way back into this race. It's taken him an hour and 50 minutes.
An hour and 15 minutes to actually come up on our radar.
Yeah.
So,
and welcome to the race, Craig Stoneley.
So well done.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's going to take it to Aztec in the next 8.5 minutes or more. So Oh, and here we go down
Yeah,
the
what's this thing
straight.
got down the chute? Well, it's got a bit. There's a bit there. There's more than a bit. He's up the inside, mate. He has got a clear overlap. Yep, definitely. Who yields? Aztec rolls out of it. Oh, too easy. Oh, I don't know about too easy,
Wow. Yeah,
certainly,
well, too easy. It's okay for us to say back in the
Yeah,
commentary box, isn't
yeah.
it?
It
J-Man,
looked
but
relatively easy.
it's
Yeah,
relatively easy.
yeah.
But and I'm sure Aztec will tough at our comments.
Yeah. Hey, look, Aztec's in for the long game, mate. He knows
He,
what the season is,
and we did hear he knows it, and we
as
talked to
Troy
him
Wilson,
earlier.
as clear
So
as a stop go.
so yeah, nice work Aztec, holding down fourth. I know that's probably exactly where you want to be at the moment. Oh, fifth, should I say? Stoney's just nipped up.
So Melling only, I was going to say 6/10 of a second behind Crossland, but he's actually already got that job done.
Yeah. So as you called it earlier, Crossland seriously vulnerable in the closing stage of this race, going to the dry tyre. And
The worst part about it is he may be vulnerable to Josco yet.
you think so?
Yeah, I do,
Really?
mate, 'cause it's not getting any better.
It's 7 minutes, mate.
Yeah, it's not getting any better, unfortunately.
Okay, so let's just watch this space. But in front of Crossland, we have Melling taking Crossy finally, but Aztec doing a smashing job. But Aztec just getting rounded up by bloody Stoneley there.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, hasn't come up on our radar all night until just right at the end.
Wilton
So
just getting out the way there.
yeah, I saw that. I thought it was McDonald, but yeah, Wilton getting out of the. But McKellar doing a fantastic job, mate. You have been singing McKellar's tune all series so far, and
Well, I was waiting for him to step up at round one, and it didn't happen.
I know, you called it round one, but yeah, here we are in the pissing rain, freezing cold, in the middle of the night in an Enduro, and here's Jake McKellar in third position, mate.
Yeah, I rate this guy. He's got a lot of talent, man. He's a massive improver. He hasn't been with Asrnz that long, you know. Feels like a while, but in the grand scheme of it, it's not that many years.
It's not a long time, is it?
No, and man, he performs so well. So yeah, great effort from him. Stoners once again. I mean, he only joined us in the GT4s the back end of last year.
Yeah. Oh,
and
mate.
And he's sitting in P4s.
He's a bloody virgin.
Well, you know, I don't know if he's a virgin, but your interpretation of virgin might be different than mine. But
yeah, no. So yeah, Stoney doing really well actually for just such a.
Just watching the
for
margin.
such a short time at Asrnz and smashing it out already.
Okay. Watching the margin. Okay.
J-Man's on the abacus as we speak, chasing those numbers, the data. That's what we want.
The Crossy's on the big back chute.
The big back chute.
And Jossie's not there yet. So no, I don't know what's happened there, but I don't think he's under any threat from Jossie. Jossie's about 20 seconds behind, so something's happened there. Because I thought he was a lot closer, but
so
no.
Crossy just dealing with
There was an 8-second margin between the last lap time. So with 4 minutes to go, the 20 seconds and an 8-second margin per lap. He does another couple of those, he could be in trouble.
Yeah, Josco well back from Crossland. Doubt in the next 3 minutes we'll see that happening, but yeah, look,
The gap at the
we've
front
got to
shrunk
go.
a little.
Got to go back. Have a look. Jackson went just smashing it out in a top position at the moment. Like these boys between him and Thomas have traded positions throughout the night, J-Man, over the last 2 hours, and in really shit conditions.
Yeah, pretty ordinary.
Yeah, very ordinary, but yeah, just played the team game and just let each other sort of play their position as it come. And yeah, first and second position, Jake McKellar is the only and the first to take it to the two up the top there.
Yeah,
Jake
man.
McKellar in third position. Like we just mentioned, mate, you've been singing this guy's tune for all season so far. Craig Stone fourth, Aztec fifth, Steve Melling.
Yep.
Steve Crossland.
I mean, Crossy holding down seventh. Mark Josco, great driving, eighth. Nick Davison, ninth. Ashvet, he's in the 10th. Kenny Simpson in 11th. John Boy 12th. Sharks 13th. Farmer 14th. Beers in 15th. Pete Epsy is in 16th. Troy Wilson 17th. B-Dog 18th. Dre 19th. And that's the end of our running vehicle. So yeah, I mean, Tom and Jackson, as it's played out now, you know, they've stretched their lead. I think, what are they? You know, there's a 5.5 second margin between the two cars, but then going back to P3, which is Jake McKellar, it's quite a hefty margin back there.
It is, and although the track, just looking at it now, sort of looks semi-dry. It's not dry. It's very cold and very slick at the moment.
We've gained 2 degrees, but it's all a little too late.
Yeah,
for Crossy.
Yeah, for anybody that's gone to the dry tyre.
Yeah. It just didn't work, and he'll rue the day that he bolted on a set of dries. But he spun the dice. It's you know, he's a racer. He had a go, and it could have gone the other way. And as we hear, the call for the leader has commenced the final lap. So Jackson went about to make the 58th and final lap of this 2-hour Enduro here at Asrnz 2021. And I believe this would be Jackson's maiden victory here at Asrnz in the Premier Class, all barring any post-race decisions. But look, I haven't seen him involved in anything tonight.
Very tidy race.
Yeah, real clean.
From Jackson and Thomas tonight, and
yeah, talked to this guy early in the week, and
all the
he
boys.
had his eye on the prize, didn't he, Davo?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, a little bit of a candid talk to Jackson. Yeah, in official practice, or you know, just a little bit when he was out of the car. So yeah, nice little bit of an insight on where they come from and what they're doing and at the moment, and yeah. So yeah, these guys are here to be noticed, and they're definitely delivering tonight, J-Man. These guys,
sure.
These guys aren't mucking around, and that's what they came here to do. So yeah, nice work.
A fair bit of toing and froing tonight from Jackson and Tom, which I'm sure they'll appreciate once they watch it back. That neither of them could work out who wanted to lead this race for a fair bit in the first 40 minutes of the race. But Jackson certainly at that probably halfway point put his hand up and decided to lead. And
yeah, Yeah, well, given the conditions, I think it was just like,
Yeah, beautiful,
well,
beautiful win there, Jackson.
whoever was in position at the time took position. Nice work.
Yep, as we
Jackson
see
went.
Tom come across.
Tom not far behind.
And
Like we said, these guys mean business. Jake McKellar
oh, McKellar,
coming down the
Only's
back
not
of
that
the
far
straight.
behind him. Wow. The B-Dog just getting out the way because...
So nice work from Jake McKellar. Jake McKellar is easily going to take...
Well, yeah, he's still got to
out.
just keep it tidy for the final 3 corners. You wouldn't want anything untoward to happen out of the final corner here.
I should not call it too early, but I'd say Jake McKellar easily wrapping this one up as he comes down into the final couple of corners here.
Yeah, so Craig
bit of a
Stonley
left hand.
applying a fair amount of pressure in the final lap though.
Stonley getting nice up close, but still a fair way off. Jake McKellar, Tech running across the line behind Stonley.
Beautiful.
Steve Melling running out onto the straight now.
Aztec through in 5th. And Steve Melling through in 6th. Crossy managing to... Is he going to hold on for 7th?
He has fought that thing all the way through. He's done pretty well.
He has done well.
He's in 7th position. He doesn't have a lot of pressure from Josco, so but it was a bit of a roll of the dice there for Crossy there, but
yeah, Crossy.
He'll rethink that.
Jozzy
next time.
Jozzy through. Jozzy got reasonably close in the end. Got
Jozzy,
within
well
5.
done. Now Jozzy's another one that's been a solid performer actually.
Yep. Nick Davidson coming through for 9th by the look of it. Need to make sure I'm not calling that too early. No. I think we're good.
So, yeah, Nick Davison, Ashley Vett, Kenny Simpson, John McDonald, Damien Jones, Steve Walton, Bear Grylls. So,
great effort, So,
tricky conditions tonight, J-Man, big race.
Massive. What am I looking at there? Okay. All right, so I guess we start with P3 there, Davo. And no time like the present, so we don't hold them up too late. Where is young Jake McKellar?
User was moved to your
Jake
channel.
McKellar to the comms box. You got a comms on us, mate?
Yeah, mate.
Wow, congratulations, mate. In that Enduro, man, that was was some drive, mate.
Yeah, man. Totally buggered, eh? Good 2 hours of full-on racing, hardcore, in the rain.
Yep.
What else can you get?
The wet tyre was the call, eh? Wet.
Yes, it was quite clear. I was catching up to Crosby at the end there. To me,
yeah, everybody
was. He
was
was on the dries, so
yeah.
on the slicks, yeah.
Yep. No, hey, look, that was an awesome drive. Sort of been pumping your tyres up a little bit this season, mate. Expecting you to perform, so it's kind of done me some justice there, mate. I thought you sort of were good for that sort of performance. Those two boys up the front, real good quality. You guys are going to have to find something to catch those 2 Go Speed cars. But man, as far as the rest, man, you're definitely the best. The rest was a great drive on a real tricky night in the dark, in the wet.
Yeah, it was pissing down. So
It had everything, didn't it? Yeah.
You'd have to take that down on a night like that, eh?
Oh, absolutely, man. Completely stoked with that one.
Nah, well, awesome, mate. Hopefully that makes for a pretty good Friday for you, mate. You'll be able to just enjoy that one and know that that'd be good for your team. You know, you definitely your championship points, and I know your teammate was rooting for you in the live stream. So enjoy it, mate, and hopefully we get to talk to you again next week.
All right, cheers, guys.
Awesome, mate.
Nice one.
User was moved out
There
of
you
your
go.
channel.
So Tom Setherley. All right, here we go.
User
So
was moved to your
welcome,
channel.
Tom Setherley, to the comms box for a well-earned P2, mate. You got us on comms?
Yeah, bro. You got me?
Yeah, mate. Hey, what
Yes, we do.
a outstanding drive, mate. We were just querying at the start of that one whether or not there was a bit of discussion amongst the team about who wanted to actually lead that thing, or whether they were just multiple mistakes, or what was going on.
Mistakes, man. Yeah. Like I got into the groove on light fuel and took new tires, and then all of a sudden that fast right
Yep.
became like rear heavy and easy to spin. So I spun that.
Right.
I had about 3 accidents costing 15 seconds. Was no good. Yeah. So I touched the blue stuff once and realized that blue meant ice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the second one was the spin in the fast corner with the new weight distribution. Wasn't aware of, and I don't know, man, had a few other little things, but so did Jackson. And yeah, we had great pace overall, and it was really interesting to learn how to drive these cars in the wet.
Yeah, so a bit of a learning curve.
Yes, I had great pace in the dry, and I was hoping to be dry the whole time, but had to learn the wets, and it was a good experience. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Hey,
No,
look,
it's
you guys.
awesome to watch.
Even in the wet, clearly at this point, a class above. The boys have got some work to do to catch you boys. So no, really impressed. Did see that. Did see 8 seconds in one lap there. So I figured there must have been a mistake that we didn't catch on the cams. But man, yes, really impressed at especially the back end, mate. The margin you guys put on the field. So really solid drive, and a good bounce back out of last week after that post race decision didn't go your way and cost you a couple of points. I think this one will elevate you massively this week. So this will be good for not only the drivers but the teams championship having a 1-2. They're looking to see how that shakes out.
Yeah, mate, that's good, really good team result, and I'm really happy for Jackson, mate. Like he worked really hard yesterday, getting all the pressures for us for the wet sort of conditions, and had a bit of practice, and yeah, I'm really happy for him to win a race.
Yeah, solid, man. No, hey, massive congratulations, man. Like we sort of say, anytime you tick the box up here in this class here, that you're doing something really well, because the guys fight pretty hard for it. So you guys are in a real nice purple patch in the racing here at the moment. So keep that up, man, and hopefully talk to you again next week.
Yeah, well, a nice streams go. Had a watch of that last week, and it was good. You guys are really professional, to be honest. It's awesome.
Nice, man. Thank you very much, and we'll talk
Thanks,
again
mate.
All right, thank you.
Cheers.
User
Right,
was moved out of
so
your channel.
and cometh the man, cometh the minute.
So the number one spot, J-Man.
Yep. And I've just got to find him. Here he is, and
Come
we'll
on.
drag him down. And
User
we
was
drag him
moved
down
to
to the
your
comms
channel.
box and congratulate Jackson Webb on, I believe, his maiden victory
He's
here at
been here
ASRNZ.
before. He's been here before.
Has he been on the top spot though?
No,
No.
boys, I haven't.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Well,
can
mate,
hear it. We can hear him this time. And
yeah. Well, this one, mate. We're broadcasting live on this one. Hopefully the comms are on and everything's all sorted.
it's all good.
Yeah, hopefully, boys. Yeah.
Just saying to your teammate, a couple of things just to pick up on there. First one is clearly there was a bit of not knowing who wanted to lead that race inside the first 40 minutes. So glad to see you sorted that out, mate, and put your hand up and checked out with it. And then the second one is a little bit of an off-camera interview with you earlier in the week, and you clearly made it. Made it clear that your eyes on the prize, and that's a dominant victory, man. That's a massive one to tick off here. Double points. Be great for your drivers' championship plus your team's championship. You have to be happy, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, boys. Yeah, no, it's been a really good night. We're really happy with the result. Like you're sort of touching on, it was a bit touch and go with who wants to lead the race at times. Like I had the pace, then Tom had the pace. So the idea was to try and limit the spins. I don't know if you caught a few of mine, boys, but limit
We
the
could
spins.
see them on paper.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
we might not have got everything, but yeah.
Oh, that's probably for the best, boys. Yeah, good
Yeah,
on you.
we could see the times changing. So.
I see that 50 I slipped you earlier in the week. It's paid off. Thank you, boys.
Yeah, no, hey, look, you put the effort in during the week too, which was nice. Your teammate thanked you for all the effort you put in around the engineering side of it with tyre pressures and stuff, and it clearly paid off. And you know, I don't, you know, we're not privy to how much is going on chit chat on the night, but we wondered who was going to roll the dice and go for the dry tire, which
Yeah.
Crossy did, and clearly the wet strategy was the way to go.
Yeah, it was a tough one. We were talking about it for quite a while,
Yeah.
and
It-
it was all very very touch and go. So
It
we
looked like it,
decided
eh?
to yeah we decided to stick with the wets for that end stint, and yeah, luckily it was the way to go. But we'd done some testing in the week, and just in some of the, because we knew it might be wet here today. We'd done some testing in the week to see whether the dries would be okay in sort of dampish conditions.
Yep.
And they were, but we just couldn't get the temperature through them. So we opted thinking that, look, it's better to have a bit of grip and try and consolidate a lead and get it from there. But no, Tom did an excellent job creating a mega set for us. The McLaren's a quick round there,
The
boys.
mega
So
set.
I don't think it'll be good in the future. Hopefully it is. I want to win this championship, boys. That's we're here to win, not to
Well,
play.
mate,
Yes.
that's what I want to
Uh,
hear, mate. You know, you don't turn up to play second best, mate. So well done. And you know, and like I just said to Tom, you know, like I know you guys come with massive cred and stuff, but you know, like to tick off not only you know, like a championship, but you know, like even a race win or a round win here, you know, for most of these guys is it's a big deal. You know, like I mean, these guys, they're pretty hard races, so like it's a, you know, from me to you, man, that's a, in my opinion, it's a great achievement, and you know, wish you many more. You know, hopefully you can tick this one off many times more, because it was a great performance. So well done.
yeah, well, cheers, boys. It feels really really good to get this one. So no, it's really really rewarding. We love this series, and I think we'll be back in the future. So yeah, no, we're here to play this time.
Awesome, mate. No, that's
Yeah,
cool. Hey, well,
nice
look,
work, man.
you enjoy it, and I'm sure you'll chew the fat with your teammate over what was a really successful night for Go Speed Racing, and the both of you individually as well. So enjoy it, mate, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again shortly.
Cheers, boys. Have a good one.
See you,
Cheers,
man.
Jackson. Well,
User was
Davo,
moved out of your
mate, that
channel.
concludes round
Oh,
3 here.
round 3. Yes, it does. It does. And, mate, what an epic race. 2 hours in the rain. Pouring rain.
Oh, mate.
Hey,
Yeah.
for 2
Yep.
hours at night at Paul Ricard. We will be back again next week. Thursday nights, everyone. Catch up
Thanks for
with us.
watching.
Yes, look, thanks for watching again. Thanks, SJS. Thanks, Zero Vision. And thanks, J-Man. And thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll see you next week.
Hey, bro.